Thousands of women gave up everything to follow Mother Teresa, but some found that life inside this fiercely private religious order was...
You have lots of reasons to thank your dad. So this Father's Day, take him to Lowe's, where there's lots of ways to say thanks. Like getting him a Craftsman 20-volt max cordless drill for tackling those DIY projects. Or the Craftsman 224-piece 3-drawer mechanics tool set with a lifetime warranty. Give Dad Lowe's this Father's Day, where he can lose himself in his favorite aisle and find the gift he really loves. And look for great savings and exclusive finds in-store and at Lowe's.com.
It'll be sunny and hot and dry. Temperatures are going to soar into the mid-90s today, mid-90s tomorrow, near 100 on Wednesday. Today through midday Wednesday, hot, sunny, and dry. Nights will be 60s. Maybe isolated thunderstorms Wednesday night, mid-90s Thursday and Friday, although temperatures maybe by Friday and the weekend slightly cooler with a few thunderstorms.
It's 72 degrees.
From the banks of the Platte Rivers to the shores of Lake McConaughey, to North Platte to Julesburg, and Oshkosh to Imperial, this is your program. Midwest Opinions, a public affairs program. Heard Monday through Friday right here on KOGA. In Ogallala, the numbers to call are 308-284-6100 and pound 106 on your U.S. cellular phone.
And good morning to you. Welcome to Midwest Opinions on this Monday, the 14th of June, 2021. I'm Mike McCormick. Corey has the day off today. In a few minutes, we'll be visiting with Travis Byers about a popular sport that's been underway and becoming more popular called kayaking. And we'll get the whole information on that in just a couple of minutes. Looking at some of the news headlines today. Yesterday, state health officials reported 223,792 total cases of COVID-19 in Nebraska. The Department of Health and Human Services says 2,256 Nebraskans have died from the virus, and there are 48 patients in the hospital. More than 851,000 residents are fully vaccinated. One person is dead after a crash in Scottsbluff County on Friday. It happened on Highway 92 near the Heartland Expressway, where officials said a vehicle went off the road and hit a ditch. The vehicle rolled over, killing the driver. The victim is identified as 45-year-old Aaron Vigil. The cause of the crash is being investigated. Authorities are investigating a crash on Friday that killed 3 people. Troopers were called to the scene at Highway 14 and Highway 275 in Neely, where investigators say a semi-trailer did not stop at the intersection and hit an SUV. The 2 people inside the SUV and the driver of the semi died in the wreck. They're identified as 74-year-old Geraldine Ellsbury, 72-year-old Norman Ellsbury, and 31-year-old Shane Ernest. Sydney police say a crash downtown on Saturday was caused by a medical event. Officials say a driver lost control of their vehicle, hitting a parked car and 2 buildings. The driver's condition is not known at this time, and no other injuries were reported. Police are identifying the victim of a deadly shooting in Omaha. Authorities say 15-year-old Cornell Hill was shot early Thursday morning near 33rd Street and Laurel Avenue and died from his injuries. Omaha police say the suspect opened fire from a vehicle. The vehicle is described as a gold or tan 4-door 2006 to 2009 Ford Fusion or Mercury Milan. The Lancaster County Sheriff's Office is identifying human remains found at Pawnee Lake. Authorities say the remains found at the lake on Thursday are that of 23-year-old Carly Schaff. Schaff was reported missing on May the 18th, and investigators say she disappeared under suspicious circumstances. The cause of her death is under investigation. Lincoln Mayor Larian Gaylor Baird is unveiling the details of her proposed budget. Gaylor Baird says the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget includes funding for 5 new police officers, an additional school resource officer, a 911 dispatcher, 3 additional firefighters, and a new assistant fire chief. The mayor says the spending plan does not include a property tax increase, and Gaylor Baird will present her proposed budget to the Lincoln City Council today. Hot weather conditions are forcing the City Council Bluffs to change its garbage collection schedule. City officials of Council Bluffs say trash, yard waste, and recycling will be picked up early this week. Early trash collection routes will begin at 6 a.m. today through Friday. Yesterday, a man is in critical condition after a shooting at a party in Lincoln on Saturday. It happened near 61st Street and Cleveland Avenue, where officials say the man was shot in the face after an altercation. He's in critical condition. Police are investigating. And Omaha police released the identity of the man who allegedly fatally shot himself while in custody on Thursday. Officials said 26-year-old Nigel Phillips was being told by the officers to drop his weapon when the shooting happened. Police said Phillips would not pull over for a traffic stop, then tried to flee on foot after crashing his vehicle. An investigation is underway. And in Colorado news, closing arguments are expected today in the trial of accused STEM School Highlands Ranch shooter Devon Erickson. He's facing a multitude of charges, including first-degree murder. One student was killed and several other people were wounded in the 2019 shooting. Co-defendant Alec McKinney is already serving a life sentence with the possibility of parole after pleading guilty to charges. The search for a missing boater in Lake Estes is coming to a tragic end. Authorities say the man's body was pulled from the water around midday on Saturday. And he was with others on a pontoon boat when he fell into the lake on Thursday. The rescue operation shifted to a recovery early in the day on Friday. Investigation is ongoing. And a 2-year-old is safe following a weekend Amber Alert in Colorado. It was sent out Saturday afternoon after a car was stolen with a child inside near Leetsdale Drive and South Quebec Street in Denver. Police were able to locate the car and the toddler a couple hours later. The suspect was not with the vehicle when it was found, and anyone with information is asked to call police. And capacity limits are no longer in place for RTD trains and buses. The transit agency lifted the pandemic-related policies yesterday. Riders are still required to mask up due to a federal mandate that remains in place until at least mid-September, and RTD is also increasing service on certain routes. Cuts were put into place due to a huge drop in ridership related to COVID-19. And the Denver Nuggets are done for the season after losing 4 straight games to the Phoenix Suns. The Nuggets lost 125-118 last night in Denver. NBA MVP Nikola Jokic. Let's start that over. NBA MVP Nikola Jokic was ejected from the game in the third quarter after a hard foul, and Denver was unable to make a comeback after his exit. The Suns advanced to the Western Conference Finals and will play either the Utah Jazz or the LA Clippers. We'll take a break and hopefully talk with Travis Byers about kayaking after these words.
With double the seasoned beef and a large drink all for $5, Taco Bell's Grande Nachos truly deserves a grande intro, perhaps with a grande beat box. Said it's crunchy, cheesy, beat. Actually, that sounded better in my head. Go get the $5 grande nachos before they make a every exit. Nope, only at Taco Bell. At limited participating locations for a limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Tax extra. Drinks excludes freezes. Double the seasoned beef as compared to the Nachos Bel Grande.
I'm a cover girl.
I'm a cover girl.
I'm a cover girl too, because I use CoverGirl Simply Ageless Liquid Foundation.
America's #1 anti-aging foundation brand.
Simply Ageless is skincare and makeup in one.
It instantly reduces the look of wrinkles and even skin tone.
With hyaluronic complex and vitamin C for plump skin and a healthy youthful glow.
So be a cover girl like me.
And me.
And get better skin at any age.
Try Simply Ageless Liquid Foundation.
From easy, breezy, beautiful,
CoverGirl.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSconsumeraccess.org number 30. At Lowe's, we're your go-to for great gardening values every day. That's why we've lowered our price on select bagged mulch, now starting at just $2.88 a bag. Mulch helps prevent weeds and retains moisture, and when you put it down around trees, shrubs, and flower beds, you'll see how beautiful it makes your outdoor space. Just in time to welcome back family and friends. Shop online and pick up in store. Lowe's, home to the best part of summer. Selection and product availability vary by location. While supplies last, U.S. only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Popular as we go along here.
Absolutely. It has become a very popular sport. It's become overly popular to the point that safety isn't necessarily the number one key to people beginning the sport, and that's where my focus is on safety.
Mm-hmm. Let's back up. I told you a couple days ago we were talking, getting you on here, and the last time I've never been in a kayak. Last time I got anything close to that was a canoe, and I about fell in the water. It was the buoyancy, I guess you might call it. Now, a kayak's a little bit different from a canoe in that when you get in, they're a little more stable.
Yeah, so honestly, I don't have a whole lot of experience with canoes. I think for that reason, I was never quite comfortable. Kayaks are, they're a different beast. They're a little lower. Your center of gravity is going to be a little lower. They're more enclosed. And then, of course, there's different styles of kayaks that are wider, skinnier, that make them a little more stable.
Yeah, that's the thing. If I was going to go buy a kayak, I mean, obviously they've got them in kid sizes, but is there I don't know how you buy one. I mean, you just basically have to get in to fit yourself in, or how do you judge what size of kayak you need?
Yeah, the best thing to do is to get in a kayak and try them out. Mm-hmm. If you're trying out the kayak, you're going to feel that it's comfortable. The seats are all different in the different makes and models. They're going to float different. They're going to have different secondary stability, which is when you kind of start to feel your tipping, you're going to get caught on that secondary stability. And all of them are going to be different. Of course, the cheaper the kayak you get, the less quality it has. A lot of people still enjoy their cheap kayaks that they can get from the big box stores. They still go out and have a whole lot of fun. But then, of course, the more you get up, the seats are going to be more comfortable. The foot pegs are going to be more comfortable. You're going to have better stability, and they're going to last longer.
Mm-hmm. Most stores have somebody that, like me, I'm inexperienced. I'd have to maybe con you into coming along. But do most stores have that? Obviously, Walmart or some of those stores probably wouldn't have somebody that can help you out.
A lot of the big Cabela's and Shields, a lot of those places do. The best thing to do is find someone that's knowledgeable of kayaks and that's willing to help you out. Facebook's a great place. Nebraska Canoe and Kayak is a great page that talks all about kayaking to different places. There's a lot of experienced people on there that will help you out and are more than willing to give you the information you need to get you out there and enjoy it and have fun.
Yes, that's the main thing. And I tell you, and I've got a friend that's out in eastern Nebraska, and he says, you don't need a trailer in particular. We got, I think he's got 3 or 4 kids, and they just throw all the kayaks in the back of the pickup, and away you go. So that makes it pretty simple. Now, most kayaks now, are they pretty much made for a single person, or can you get them for 2 people or more?
Yeah, they make them for 2 people. They even make them up for even more. When my kids were smaller, we would take our tandem which is made for two people, obviously. And they were small enough, and we were below the weight limit, so we were able to get all four of us out onto one tandem.
That's amazing. I have not seen, all I've seen around and I haven't looked at them close, but are just these single ones. So those must be quite long, some of them.
They are. They're, I think the ones I have are about 17 feet.
Oh, wow. That's quite long. So you just don't you have to throw that in the back of the pickup, and you got to put a little flag on the back end so people don't run into you. So.
Absolutely. I've got trailers, pickups. You can get them up on top of the vehicles. There's plenty of ways to transport them.
Yeah, I think I've seen yours. You have one on your Jeep. It's up. You can put it up on top of the roof there or something.
Yeah, all my vehicles have racks to haul them on, of course.
That is really, really cool. Now, what are the regulations? You know, with a boat and a jet ski, you have to register with Game and Parks, or I guess that's who you register with, and you have to have a stickers, licensing. What do you have to do? Or do you have to do anything with kayaks?
You don't have to register them in the state of Nebraska unless you have a motor on it.
Oh, okay. And most of them probably wouldn't. But.
A lot of the fishing kayaks do put little trolling motors on them to get around.
Interesting. I've never seen or heard of that, I guess. So, like I say, I'm all new to this. So.
Yeah, there's so many different kinds. And, yeah, that's the only time you have to register them. But as far as regulations of what you need to get out on the water and to do it correctly is you have to have, of course, the kayak and the paddle, a PFD, a personal flotation device, or a life jacket. You need a bailing device, which is either a pump, a sponge, something to get the water out of the kayak. And then you need a noise-making device, a whistle, an air horn. Like I carry a whistle right attached to my life jacket. Kids 13 and under must always have a life jacket on. And, of course, you want that to be properly fitted.
Well, I would probably have one on whether I haven't even looked at the boating regulations. I don't know what the age is on life jackets. I would have one on anyway because I know that Lake McConaughey especially is deadlier than what you think when you get in there. It can be overpowering. So.
Absolutely. All bodies of water can be. Having a life jacket is, number one for me. I've always got mine on. They don't have to be uncomfortable. That's the big thing with life jackets. The number one thing you hear is they're not comfortable. They don't have to be. The one I have is really comfortable. It's, smaller. They make paddle-specific life jackets. You get those big horseshoe collar life jackets, the orange ones that, you were first used to.
Oh, yeah.
And those are so uncomfortable. No one wants to wear them.
Well, no matter what you choose, you always want comfortability, but you want to get one that fits you and you're comfortable with so you can enjoy the sport and everything. So basically, you don't have to have them registered or anything. So you just basically have to have all that material, and you would want to, that you just mentioned on there. So if you do get pulled over by Game and Parks or law enforcement, why they just want to make sure of your safety and have those in there.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good deal. Let's see here. There's all kinds of questions. Now, is there an age limit on kids as long as they're with parents? Maybe you mentioned that before as far as in a kayak.
No age limit. Just under 13 needs to have a life jacket on.
Okay.
But no, as far as getting kids out in the water on a kayak, put a life jacket on them and get them out there as young as you safely can, obviously. My daughter was going out with me when she was 3.
Wow.
I have pictures of her sleeping on the kayak.
And she still enjoys it.
Oh, yeah, she goes out.
You got a son, too, now. Is he into the kayaking as much? Or?
Not as much, but he still goes out with us and still enjoys it.
Well, that's good. That's a good family thing. And I tell you, it's really, it doesn't take much. I got to pick up, so if I got one, I could just throw it in the back end. And later, if I did a lot, I'd probably want to get a rack mount or a little trailer to pull it on or something. But it's sure a neat thing. I know you've had some events, maybe not last year with the COVID, but the year before, I think you had was that a national meeting here or something that you got people together from different kayaking clubs? Or?
Yeah, so we do an event every November, and it is called Kayak Big Mac. It is sponsored by the Ogola Rotary Club. It's an event there. I am the chairperson for it. Last year, or 2 years ago, this past year, like you said, we didn't have it because of COVID, and then this year we will have it again. But we go out to Lake McConaughey. We kayaked. It started out, we kayaked across the dam, and we have chili and pancakes, and it's just a fun event for a group paddle. And then the the evening before that, we had a dinner and drinks and just had a good time with everyone who came to it. And we had speakers from different kayak clubs from Colorado, South Dakota, Iowa. I think we had some people up here from Arkansas. We've had people come from all over the place for these events.
Well, I know it's a major interest, and of course, Lake McConaughey is one of the bigger lakes for kayaking around the country and stuff. So, do you anticipate them coming back again this year, or do you have people that come out probably any time now that do a lot of kayaking?
Absolutely. Actually, just yesterday, I went out to the lake for lunch, and driving across the dam, I think there is 6 cars I passed going over the dam, and 5 of them had kayaks on top.
Oh, that is amazing. So, yeah, like we've talked about before, it just seems like that's becoming more of a popular sport, and it's not as expensive to own a boat like owning a boat is and stuff. So I could see where it, I don't know, what do the average kayaks run? I wouldn't even have a clue. $200 on up? Or
yeah, you can get them as low as $100, $150.
Yeah.
At the box stores, up to $3, $4, $5, $6,000.
Whatever you want to spend, I'm sure,
absolutely.
And obviously the cheapest ones, they have to meet regulations, so they're pretty much as safe as a more expensive one, maybe not as durable and all that, or comfortable.
It all depends on what you want to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going out to the lake and you're just paddling around in a small area at your lake, then yes, I would say that all of them are going to be fairly equal. If you're wanting to spend all day paddling around, you're going to want to spend maybe a little more. Going down a river, I would be afraid of puncturing it. With the cheapest ones,
the reason I ask is most of them I've seen are that really hard plastic. So I suppose going down a river, in the mountains, and some of those rocks are pretty sharp, and as fast as you're going, the impact, it wouldn't take much to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, those cheap ones are meant for the lake and paddling around the lake. And like I said, those do great for that. Going down, a small river, once you have that experience, or just floating down the South Platte, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, somebody like me would probably start out with a cheap one and take a few lessons from you, and then I would be up to speed. I don't know. What is it? You give lessons, don't you? And for younger kids and adults as well?
Yeah, I'm an ACA certified instructor, which is the American Canoe Association. I took a weekend and went up to Iowa and did some kayaking, and I just say that training was the best training I've ever done, because I just got to go kayaking for a
Plus, you meet
weekend.
other friends with the same interest, and you get that bond going. Maybe they'll come out here and stuff. So when do you have your courses? You got anything coming up? Or?
Yeah, so June 27th, we're doing a class in Chapel. And those, we're going to have kids and adult classes. And then if we have enough interest, we'll also do a family class. That way, if families want to do it, parents and adults, we'll do that. Also, I'll have events here June 11th. We're going to have a class, and I also do private lessons.
Okay. And they can just get a hold of you. Do you have an email or a phone number you would like them to call? How is the best way to contact you for those classes or find the information? A Facebook page? Or?
Absolutely. So they can check out my Facebook page, which is AlwaysKayak. I share all my adventures on there. That's what it started out as. When I started kayaking, I just started sharing my pictures and my adventures and everything everybody to see. And then it got a little more popular, and then I really got the knowledge and took the classes, and I just want to pass that on to everybody else and get everyone out to be safe and do it correctly so they enjoy it and have fun.
Exactly. How long do those courses last, like for younger kids and then adults? They like a day long, or you get a couple days you have classes?
Well, the classes that I'm doing right now, they're just an intro to kayaking. They're for the basics. Learn the basics, get comfortable with your kayak, and those last about an hour and a half, because I talk a lot. But we go out and we have a lot of fun. You learn the basics. You get to get out of your kayak if you're comfortable with that with us there, and learn if you're able to get back in it and see the difficulties of that, so you have that knowledge.
Right. Plus, you can help people that are, I mean, I would probably need help getting in a kayak. Never been in one. So there's a way to get in one. And then, of course, the paddling, that's takes some. Now, is it one long paddle with rows on both ends, or it's two separate ones?
Yeah, it's one long paddle with a shaft with a paddle on each end.
Okay, cool. Now, that's real exciting. That's why I wanted to have you on. And is there a group that meets in town regularly, or not really yet?
We don't really have a group that meets here. I have a couple friends that we've been kayaking every month of the year for the last 6 years, and we have gone out in the middle of winter when we've had to go to Lake Ogallala and find just a small spot. So,
and your friend and mine, Scott Evelyn, when he was in town, I think I've seen him out there in the cold winter days as well.
Yep,
so
he comes out with us. He still makes a trip back from Lincoln to kayak with us.
Oh, that's awesome.
To make sure he still hits Lake McConaughey and gets his streak. So,
anything else that you want to bring up that we might have missed? I've tried to cover everything. I'm sure that people have other questions. Is there anything that you might want to add, or?
I'd just like to. I always go back to safety, and if I could just talk a little more about life jackets.
You certainly can, yes.
That's my focus with the classes and with everything, is just safety. And I'd like to say there's different types of life jackets, and to make sure you get the right weight, especially for your child, make sure you get the right size, the right weight, and a really simple way. I'm going to try to explain this on the radio. You put the life jacket on, it's going to be a little bit loose. You'll tighten up the buckles on the side after it's buckled. Once it is buckled, you're able to grab the shoulder straps and lift them up. If you're able to just tug them up a little bit and they don't touch the ears, then you're okay. If they come up and touch the ears, that's not going to be comfortable, and it's probably not going to be effective for your child. And that's the easiest way to do it. And honestly, if you have a properly fitted life jacket, you're going to be comfortable in it, and you're going to be okay wearing it, especially long days out on a kayak or even on a boat. Anyway, so
it's kind of like wearing a necktie. I always tied the full Windsor, and people go, that's really, how do you stand that net? Well, it's all getting the right size neck size. If you wear a 15, get a 15 and a half to wear a neck. So you're saying the same thing basically, or you want to maybe try it on in the store or wherever you're going to buy it and make sure it fits and fits comfortably.
Yeah, and if you get one, one thing I always tell people is, you get to the lake and Dad says, "Well, I forgot your life jacket, son." So you just put this one on, and it's 3 sizes too big, or it's an adult extra large, but he's got a life jacket on. Well, I always show, as soon as you jump in the water and the kid goes wee and throws his arms up, he slips out of the life jacket and he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. So, well, Travis Byers, been a great opportunity to talk with you this morning on the show and enlightening people and myself on kayaking. Hopefully we'll be able to have you on again. If you have stuff coming up, be sure and let us know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be back with more Midwest Opinions after these.